Welcome to Startup Grind. No, that's not how we do it. You shout like you sing Obama or Jay-Z or Beyonce or the Queen or Megan Michelangelo or whatever. Welcome to Startup Grind. Special guest tonight. This is somebody that worked in the corporate world. She quit her job to start her own company and her own brand of gin, and she's been so successful. She created the first pink gin, and one of my favorite gins. Ladies and gentlemen, get up on your feet. Let's give a warm round of welcome to Simone Musgrave. Thank you. Good. Tell us about you. Tell us about your background. Where are you born? What kind of kid were you?
So, strangely, I was born in Amsterdam. And apparently they don't give you a passport if you're born there. You have to live there forever. So, I left there at 6 weeks, and I'm an African child. So, I grew up in Pretoria mostly, much to Cape Town's horrific view of Pretoria. It was quite a cool place, and it's quite cool now. It's got some really cool stuff happening there. But I had a great start to my education. I started at the Waldorf School, which I do say is the making of me today. And it just really allowed for such great diversity in those days. So that was a long time ago. And creativity and confidence. So that's where I started. Unfortunately, I ended at Pretoria Girls High, but that was part of the journey.
I see. And as a kid, what kind of kid were you? Were you a quiet kid, a naughty kid?
I was actually very shy. Before the Waldorf School, I used to hide down my mother's leg. I was super shy. Quite a lot has changed since then. I'm a Leo. I literally am the happiest person on the stage.
You're a Leo?
I'm a Leo.
Oh. I was very shy too, growing up.
Okay.
And I also feel I shifted. And I'm a Leo too.
Oh. So I think that the Waldorf School definitely brought that confidence out. But in high school, I was quite a political activist. You know, in those days, that's what good people did. And I got arrested a few times and hid away from my mother and seemed to find my confidence quite quickly. But I think I always felt that I would do something great. I'm not sure that we're there yet, but I had this belief that I would always do something great. And I don't know when that will come, but I do believe that.
I think it's here, it's pink.
Maybe. We've got more to come.
Fantastic. And tell us about your first, what was your first job? What did you do?
My first job was actually teaching aerobics. I went to Rhodes University and I put on like a load of bodies in my first year because I partied quite hard and drank lots of beer because we couldn't afford anything else and lots of food and I put on like 25 kilograms.
Wow.
So I had to do something to lose that and I started my own aerobics studio in Grahamstown. I was at Rhodes and that was the start of getting in shape. And then I went overseas and I taught aerobics. And I was then a degreed person I studied linguistics and Xhosa. And that wasn't really going to help me too much at all in London. So I decided to teach English to foreign adults and I earned more money teaching aerobics than I did English. But it was a great time.
Oh, fantastic. And abroad, what did you study?
I studied linguistics and Xhosa.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I think I need Musgrave Pink to catch up.
Exactly.
Cool. And so from there, what led to you went into corporates. You worked for Rainbow.
So actually I didn't. I got married really early. I had children at 26. And I actually didn't work in corporate in the beginning. I Zealand. I had another child in New Zealand. By then I was 28. And very happy I did that in those days because they're now 21 and 19 and I'm free.
Oh, wow.
But I was really inspired by the childhood education in New Zealand and food. And I always loved food. And in those days, being a celebrity chef wasn't really something sexy to be, or being a chef really. The celebrity world came later. So I somehow went back to my food roots and I came back to South Africa. Hated New Zealand, sorry, JP. It just wasn't a good time for me, but was really inspired to kind of create the beautiful food that children are craving. And I started a baby food business. And I ended up, I started it really because I didn't believe in the jarred baby food without naming a brand. So, and then eventually they took over my business. So.
What were some of the lessons from that? Like your baby food, you said you wouldn't do that again.
I think the biggest thing out of my baby food business was never to touch baby food. Anyone out there? Don't do it. But it was about timing. So I was really before my day. I launched an organic frozen baby food, and no one buys frozen baby food in those days. And that was 19 years ago. And they only bought jar food. Clearly why I did so well. But it was timing. It was timing. But it was my degree in the journey of my career, which was retail food, manufacturing, factory, people, brand, and it was called Yum Num's Baby Food. And I did everything. I built a factory and I had people making a lot of mushy food, and we delivered it to Pick and Pay, and we failed quite hard.
What were some of those things that actually, that you failed at? What if somebody is supplying a store like Pick and Pay? What are the things that they need to look out for so they don't fail?
I think just to be realistic, that you're a small supplier with a big giant, and not to. Firstly, don't be scared of it because your special products are needed by the big guys. But we just really didn't negotiate well. We were, again, our biggest issue was we didn't have the right product for the right time. And we didn't have enough money to change the game. So for example, we were in the freezers and everyone walked down the baby aisle. They never saw us, but we didn't have the money to direct them from the freezer, from the baby aisle to the freezer. So where we were successful was Baby City. And if any of your moms are out there or dads who spend a lot of time in babysitting and had your first child. And we put little ice cream freezers in Baby City, and we put a few in Pick and Pay. And that sort of helped. But we were just too small to take on this huge timing gap. So I think it was a great concept. Interestingly, frozen baby food has never worked, even to this day. So even some of the big retailers who launch baby food, it's a tough business. So I think it was I don't know what we could have done better right now. If we had a huge amount of cash, we might have been able to change again. But it was timing.
How long did it take you before you bounced back and started something else?
I didn't bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got divorced, moved to Cape Town, and took a corporate job. So the people that always helped me in my baby food business said, well, we really love what you've done, and we need you in Cape Town, and we need you to sit on the Woolworths Foods floor because they were the biggest supplier to Woolworths Foods, and we need you to help us. And that's what I did for quite a lot of years, and that was my second degree in retail food, and super interesting. So I really treasure those years.
I see. And you moved on to, at what point did you move to rent? I think it was what you did.
So I survived 3 acquisitions. So that business was bought by Food Corp. So some of the brands you know and love are Omar Rusks, Catmore, Dogmore, Bobtail. What else was there? Pyman's Pantry. And I moved into Food Corp and I built what, I don't know if some of you have heard of the 7th Floor Innovation Centre, which was a groundbreaking space, innovation space, which interestingly our corporate had directed me to build that. So 10 years there, Rainbow then bought Food Corp, and I survived another few years and I knew my time was coming. But yeah, very, very formative years.
So let's know about the journey to Musgrave. What inspired that?
So my job in this role as head of innovation was to travel the world and eat and drink. Someone had to do it. And I was sent by a food corp to South America, and my boss would say, Simone, go and find out what's there in bakery. And pies in Australia. Pies are the biggest thing in Australia. So I would go on a pie trip to Australia. My aerobics came back. So I had this great exposure, and I would come back and I'd develop trends and ideas, and I had a team of chefs, and we would play in the kitchen. It was honestly the best job. And we would hopefully, out of that, launch a product. But in corporate, things take a long time. So 18 months to launch a new pie, it's about the right timeline. Or at breakfast, long breakfast rice, anyone eat those? We develop those. But it's a big animal, and it's hard to get the right thing to fit the right market. So, but I learned a lot during that time. So I came to chicken as part of my life, my last few years in corporate, which was great. I mean, we all eat chicken, and it just got a bit much after a while, and I realized that I don't think that I'm cut out for this job anymore. I've done what I felt I could do. I couldn't contribute anymore. I knew my time was coming, and they needed me in Durban. And I wasn't going to get to Durban as much as I loved Durban. So I said to my boss, do you mind if there's this big thing about gin in the world, do you mind if I kind of on the side make some gin? And he was like, bless, Shane, of course. You know you're going to be asked it soon. I thought I had 2 years left, but I ended up having about 13 months. And I started Musgrave. I came back from a London trip where I went on a gin and tonic tour of the east side of London. More pies came into that. And I thought, I can do this. I've got Musgrave, it's a great story. And I found a great gin guy in Cape Town, Roger Jorgensen. And I found a brand team that I'd worked with before. And I knew what I wanted, but it was my story. Musgrave was my family story. And I launched Musgrave Original in 6 months. I bought 1,000 bottles, created a label, bought 1,000 labels. Those 1,000 labels, by the way, cost about 10 rand a label. So, and we launched on World Gin Day in 2015. And it sold almost half of it in one night, which was like, shit, it takes 6 weeks to get more bottles. And that was my start of Musgrave. And I was moonlighting properly.
Wow, and from that, what was the lesson in terms of all of this is gone, half of it gone in one night? What did you think you needed now to do differently?
I think for me it was like, wow, could be something that could work. And I was really wanting to get out of corporate. My kids were coming to a point where I didn't need to be around all that much anymore, and it was time for me to get out of corporate and do my own thing. And I wasn't used, my talent wasn't used. So I was still working, but I've been a single mom since my kids were 4 and 6, so I had to earn the salary. And they were still high school, so I had to stay in the job as long as I possibly could milk the salary. And I launched Pink. About 8 months, a year later, I launched Pink, still duly employed at RCL Foods. And by then I literally wasn't even working in a corporate job. I was properly cheating. And then Pink suddenly just exploded. And I actually didn't know how to do both. I was starting to really tread water. But I was also about to be retrenched. So I got a 6-month salary, which was great because I worked there for a long time. And that was so important because it meant that I could jump into this career or this new job of mine and my new business with a 6-month salary. And I think that was really the success of surviving for 6 months.
Wow. And I know that a lot of people, when they want to start, they're thinking they need to buy this and do business cards and websites and offices and like a lot of overheads. But in your case, you started, it was you and just a few other people.
It was me.
Tell us about that. You started alone and then, tell us about that growth.
So Musgrave's model is a contract distilling or contract supply model. So we don't want to be I'm not a distiller, and I don't want a factory. I had a baby food factory, thank thank you very much, I don't want another factory. So we contract distill with a great distillery in Cape Town, Hope and Hopkins. I'm sure many of you in Cape Townians know it, and I've been there for tastings. And I didn't have any overheads, literally until only a few months ago. So I worked from home, I had no staff, I had no driver, no vehicle. My Honda CRV has seen a lot of gin. And I used to pick it up in the back of my Honda, drive it off to the supply. Eventually, my car was so low on the road, I realized things had to change. So I just ran very lean. I ordered just the amount of bottles that I needed. And remember, gin is made in 16 hours. So you don't need to store it for 3 years like whiskey and brandy and other things. So if I needed 5 bottles, I'd order 5. If I needed 1,000, I'd order 1,000. The problem with the bottles came from France, so I kind of had to commit to at least a pallet, which is 1,080. And so I just kept it very lean. I think the initial investment was probably about 120,000 rand and in stock that I was going to sell. And then 14 months ago, I employed my first staff member, actually. And we've been alive for 3 years, and I kept things lean.
That's brilliant. And could you tell us about product development? What are some of the things you need to consider when you come up with something new, like as innovative, created that? What are the things you consider, or what made those brands that you created successful?
I think in product development, you sometimes got to put your blinkers on and do what comes from a very solid knowledge base. So I developed pet food and rusks and chicken. I'm not an expert in any of them, but there's enough knowledge around to draw on. So I'm very good at putting experts around me, and I did the same with our gin. So I put the gin guy around me, and I said, this is my story, this is what I want to create, what do you suggest? And going forward in our next adventure, we'll do the same. So I think it's product development must come from the heart with very considered research. Research around trends and putting those people can advise you and to listen. But there is something about deep instinct that you just have to go with at the end of the day.
And a similar question for branding. Your branding is excellent. Tell us about some of the things you considered. I know, like ordering the bottles from France and those type of things that went into that. What are the things that you would give somebody like me if I want to create something amazing like you've done? Like, what should I think about in terms of branding?
So I'd like to say that I considered this a lot, but a lot of it was by mistake. So I had to choose a bottle that I couldn't have my own bottle because I was too small. So I had to choose a catalogue bottle, which is that bottle there. And I didn't want to go as round, so I thought square is a bit different, seems fine. There's also, we're in South Africa, right? So there's only 2 or 3 bottle importers, and they all come from France, basically. So there's not a lot of variation. So I thought that looks great. It's got a waist, it's a little bit feminine, but strong woman, seems fine. But that's before we put the label on it. And I think the success of Musgrave is that I had a very clear vision of what I wanted to get in the end. And I believe that Musgrave is not a gin brand, and you'll see that next year. It's a luxury brand born in South Africa, and I wanted to create, a lover of luxury brands myself, I wanted to create a luxury brand born in Africa that can hold up against Louis Vuitton, Gucci, perfume brands, handbag brands. Funny enough, I didn't think of the alcohol brand at the time. And I think we don't trust ourselves in Africa enough to believe that we can actually hold up against thousands of years worth of history and create a luxury brand here. And we've got thousands of years worth of history and this beautiful country to talk about. So that was my first kind of port of call. It wasn't really gin. And I had this family story, which I'm sure most of you have read about. And I think that I was clear on what I wanted at the end goal. So the brief to the team worked out. So I think get your brief right. Make sure you know what you want. I also didn't have enough money, so they controlled me. I could only do 3 reverts on the design. So I had to quickly decide. I think having worked in corporate, it takes months for 40 people to decide on a brand.
Yeah.
I had like 2 weeks, 3 reverts, 4 designs up front, and I had to decide. So get your brief right, and actually control is quite good.
Oh. Last time when we were speaking, we saw pictures of the Musgrave tribe, the Pink tribe, and people in different countries. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I think we're going to we'll put the pictures up later on, but that was really amazing. Tell us about that.
So sometimes things surprise you, and over our journey with Musgrave, we have developed this tribe of people who love Musgrave, to the point where 90% of our social media, which is the only way we launched and really market, is crowdsourced now. People send us their images of how much they love Musgrave and how they want to convey the message of how much they love it. And for me, that's the way to hear our consumer. We don't have big money to do market research and dipstick brand stuff, so we look at our social media as a voice. And so we found this tribe of no gender, no race, no age, and it's just the most exciting consumer or target market. And I say target market where I think we might be getting to a space in the world where there is no target market. That we should be speaking to everyone. And I think Musgrave is starting to achieve that. And some of the images that come up later, you'll see what our tribe looks like. And that's really got to do with a brand that resonates in South Africa but doesn't patronize. And I don't know how we've got it right, to be honest. I think we just speak from our heart and we speak from our background and we go into places that no one else has gone. And hopefully that continues.
Brilliant. We're going to start taking questions from the audience, so you can prepare your questions. I'd like to know in terms of, if you wanted, could you share some of your plans, like where is Musgrave going? What are we looking forward to seeing?
So I can't tell you exactly, because it's a little bit confidential, but we are going into another spirit, and it allows us to step out of gin. So just to understand, since we launched in 2015, 150 plus gins have launched. And so I've never seen ourselves as a gin brand. We are a luxury brand with gin as our first step. So we're going into a new spirit. But one day, I'm hoping with all my heart that we go into a watch or shoes or a handbag, because I think that's where Musgrave could go. But watch out for the next spirit first.
Awesome, thank you. Any questions from the audience? What have been some of with the Musgrave story, like your biggest challenges? I'm sure I know you've talked about a few, but what have been some of your biggest challenges?
I think for us, growth actually has been our biggest challenge. The growth has been, it sounds like it's something not to be a challenge, but it is a massive challenge, especially when you're one person and we literally did not expect, we cannot even to this day predict month to month what our sales are going to be, because it just completely changes every month. Luckily for the positive right now. But I think time and resource has been our biggest challenge.
And your biggest successes, apart from what you see already? What are the other things that you haven't spoken about, or you haven't seen, that you're super proud of, saying, wow, we achieved that?
I think resonating with Africans. And we export to about 14 countries now, and not one of them we've gone to find. They've all come to us. And I think that makes me super proud. It also makes me realize we're doing something right. So.
My favorite picture is that man in Zimbabwe. We just took,
love that man.
Asked somebody to take a picture of him.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the voting picture with Musgrave.
Oh, cool.
Waiting for us.
Yeah, the results as well. There's voting in Zimbabwe, by the way. Yeah. Great. There's a question there.
So you were hinting at your online strategy from the perspective of social media and so on, but what is your take on e-commerce and actually utilizing your brand to actually get out on a different retail footing?
It's an interesting space. Alcohol is extremely traditional, and alcohol has its admin issues around licensing. So that is, the licensing issue is definitely the barrier here. So we can't sell online because we don't have the licenses. So we utilize other people with the right licenses. So I think alcohol is a tricky one. And until and the other side of it is that you've got very small guys and then the massive guys. e-commerce who dominate the industry. So e-commerce is interesting for us, and we don't really do a lot of volume on any website anywhere in South Africa. And I think it's people are not buying alcohol online.
Why not just on Takeout?
Take-a-lot. We aren't Take-a-lot. I think we sell 2 bottles a month. It's really, people don't seem to want to shop alcohol online.
Hi, Simone. So perhaps I'm a little bit biased because I'm a female that operates in an entrepreneurial space here in Cape Town, as well as my paid full job, which is an academic at UCT, quite a contrast. And I think just more comment from my side is thank you for being such an incredibly positive female role model for this ecosystem, and thank you for having created Pink. And I personally can't wait to see what the journey ahead is going to be for you. And please keep on doing amazing things and inspiring younger females like myself.
Thank you, and it's something that's been really, thank you. It's very close to my heart because it's been tough as a woman going out into this world of alcohol. Other than the marketing and PR sort of space, I don't deal with one woman in the value chain, not one. And we are constantly walking into a male world. The Musgrave Pink box disrupted alcohol because it's pretty. Because if you look at just Jack Daniels, man, Jim Beam, Johnny Walker, I'm sorry, I'm just not seeing the female names. It's all brown, with a little bit of maroon to excite things up, and I think that's why Musgrave actually appealed to people, because suddenly women are the shoppers, mostly, we know this, and it spoke to a female mindset. Interestingly, we know that at least 50% of our consumers men because they love pink too.
I have a question. Are Haley speaking of like the other products that you've sold before and whatsoever? Well, other businesses that you've been into, but like maybe products. But now I want to know what made you decide to go into alcohol specifically?
I think so many years in food, you really don't want to do food again. You know too much. Yeah, it's tough. It's the food industry is. It's really tough out there, and you know even the big guys are suffering in protein. I think sometimes when you know too much about an industry, you don't want to touch it. So I knew nothing about alcohol, and I blindingly went into it. And some will say I'm stupid, but I just felt it was something new and fresh. And I was kind of tired of being at the bottom of the chain. I wanted to be in the luxury space, so I kind of like that space. You all do. And so it was just a completely different space, and I think it was just invigorating again after 13 years in food.
Okay, thank you. And the last question I have, I want to know, like, does your brand or product like comes with different flavors, or it's only gin pink, or?
So most people know us as Musgrave Pink, but in fact our Musgrave Original was the first one, and I protect that boy with my life because he holds our brand story. So we are 2 products now, and so I think for you, if any of your product developers or entrepreneurs wanting to start a product, for me, my inspiration was Hendrix, and it's a beautiful, beautiful gin, and they have one product. They have one, and many of the gins that have launched have pink and rooibos and fynbos and 4 and 5 variants. Hendrix had one, and they're the coolest brand out there. And product development people love to innovate and do new stuff. But I keep bringing myself back to too many products just dilutes, it doesn't give you more sales.
As an entrepreneur starting off, what would you say your top 3 tips are, because obviously you've come into a male-dominant space, being the only female entrepreneur in alcohol, what would be your top 3 tips coming in as an entrepreneur, being intimidated by everyone in the big guys?
I think, so speaking from a woman in a new industry that I didn't know that's very male-dominated, and we love our men, so I'm not putting anyone down, it's just be fearless, and you really don't have to be like a man. to be a woman in business. So hold your femininity. My products are very feminine. In fact, in New York, we just launched into New York, and they said the feedback was keep your femininity. They loved it. So I think that's a big one. Work hard. I work. I don't think it's a big thing to brag about, but I do work hard. And one thing I don't actually get right is perhaps building the right team of people around me and doing too much by myself. So I'm learning to do that. We now have 5 people at Musgrave, as from today. So our marketing director is new, she's somewhere here. But I think I probably stood alone for a little bit too long. And so if that helps, I hope those are some nice 3 to go with. I'm not sure they're the top 3, but off the cuff.
Speaking about your vision and the Musgrave. Speaking about your vision and the Musgrave story, and looking at where you want your brand to go, my question is very similar to the previous question that was asked before. Why would you decide to go straight to gin when you do have other products that you envision and other products that actually are aligned more with the Musgrave's brand look? Why would you go to gin first? What provoked that decision?
So gin was a trend, and I was looking at trends. I was actually, at the time I was analysing craft as a category across every, craft as a concept across every category. So craft fits into KFC now. You get a craft kind of approach, you know. So I was looking at craft, it was a trend. My brand story, so a little bit about my background. I grew up in Pretoria, but my mum's Zimbabwean, my dad's businesses are all in Zambia, not in common. And we travelled in Africa most of our lives. His other businesses in the Congo, so we spent a lot of time in Africa. And I remember that moment of the Sundowner gin and tonic. And maybe they drank too much of it, that it really sat in my brain. But it just thought the story fitted. So my grandfather came to Africa in 1947 as a missionary, and he stayed in Africa for 30 years, had 2 more children, and that's how we exist in Africa. And he wrote a book of all his stories of moving across Africa, and great stories of being chased by elephants, witnessing the change in Africa. And I thought that that story resonated as a beautiful story within gin, and the trend was there. So there were quite a lot of factors, but I think essentially I was jumping on the trend. And the next project we do, we're not jumping on the trend, so it'll be interesting to see how we do that. I definitely would jump on a trend. If there's a trend, grab it with all your might, but do a good job of it. And also timing, guys. I was first, and 150 have been after me. So I wasn't first. Actually, in Varosh were first. And there were a few little scattered gins, but as a brand, I chose the right time. And when baby food, I didn't.
Good evening. A lot of people, including millennials, that prefer supporting brands and entrepreneurs who actually take the triple P bottom line or corporate social responsibility into consideration. What have you done with that in your business?
So it's something I'm very aware we need to do, and we're so young, we're 3 years old, and I've only been 18 months full-time in Musgrave. But something I've been looking at, what I resonate with is building women as entrepreneurs, and building African entrepreneurs as well. But I think my focus would be on empowering women. And I think quite apt today, right? Who was on the march? Yes. So we need to choose who we support yet, and it's quite a journey to decide that, but I'm on that journey. I've got a 21-year-old who calls me out every day on it.
There's a question there.
Hey Simone, thanks so much for sharing with us today. I had a question based on, further on, back when you guys were, when it was just you, before you got to a team of 5 to one now. How proactive were you with company culture? You know, when it's just you, it's easy to be something that you don't think about because it's just you that needs to stay motivated. But as you grow, and I have no doubt that you guys will continue growing, how much planning do you do about what you guys are internally going to stand for and what staff are going to be like eventually, and how you're interacting with each other?
It's such an apt question because I'm dealing with that right now. So our growth has been insane. We've grown 300%, 150% month on month. I'm like, oh, I need people, bring people in. I've only employed women at this stage, by accident maybe, but we will get men in at some point, but it just happens to be such a rush job. Everything is being quite a pace. And I'm dealing with that now. In fact, it was one conversation, I was sitting over there talking to Katie, our marketing director, saying, you know, there's so much to do. There's code of conduct policies, there's leave policies, there's travel policies, there's all these things to suddenly implement. And it's extremely daunting. And I don't like it so much. It's very boring. I want to sell product and gin and do this kind of thing. So it's something I'm working on. I'm taking active steps to have help with it. And again, I would say go and find the help. And a culture, Musgrave culture is extremely important because our consumers will be watching what we do. So thank you for that question, and I'm on it.
Great. Thank you very much. I know there are a lot of questions, and are you staying with us?
I'm staying.
Cool, fantastic. So we'll continue with the questions. I know there's a lot of questions. My last question for you, when is your birthday?
It was Monday.
Oh! Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I wish I could sing. I'll sing for you. Today is actually my son's birthday. I'm 12. My birthday is August 14th. So yeah, we're all Leo. Yeah.
Who's Leo in the room?
Yeah, happy birthday to all the Leos. Happy birthday.
If I had control of the bar, I'd give you a free drink for that.
Yeah. Brilliant. So thank you very much, Simone, with what you shared in this short space of time. It's really inspiring, educational, and especially that you bootstrapped and you were in a corporate job and then you made the jump to go into your own business. That's a lot of people want to do that, and you've shown us how you can do it and making that change. So thank you very much for sharing the story.
Thank you. I'm still on the journey, so we'll speak in a year's time.
And then you're going to show us how to make the perfect gin.
Apparently I'm making the perfect gin.
Yeah, we do that. For the next event, we're having the next event on 5th September, and we are hosting another amazing person. His name is Duran de Villiers. He actually makes drones. He manufactures drones. He lives out in Niceland. How cool is that? So please remember to get your tickets to the next Outbound event. It's going to be in the same place up there. And we want to listen to another incredible South African entrepreneur. So big hand first of all to Simone. Big hand please. And I'd also like to thank Guillaume de Smith. He's the one that started Startup Grind South Africa. We started Grind Cape Town 5 years ago. Only trying to fit his shoes. If you know G, not easy to fit in his shoes. He's a big guy. And so, thank you to G. He runs Startup Grind Cape Town like clockwork every month. And now he works for Startup Grind Global, looking after the 400 chapters. He's an amazing guy. I don't know how many brains he's got, processors. It's amazing. So, a big hand for G, please. He's not here.